Okay, BTHV1 here. The first thing we have to do is disconnect the fuel line. You can almost use a flaring wrench for this. It's much like a propane line. There we go. And then the next two bolts will be right here on the top of the carburetor. Good. And here we have the carburetor. So the next thing we're going to do is take the mixture setting off. I believe that's a 1/2 inch. It looks like a 7. No, it's a 1/2 inch. Take that off. Doesn't look too bad. This stuff is ancient, so we have to be so careful. Now I actually have a screwdriver here that in a previous carb job I actually took the lips off the edge of the screwdriver so that I could get it into these little tiny things. And if you look right inside there, there is a brass jet, and that is where your fuel mixture setting happens. So we'll just take that out. Oh, it's coming out good. I sprayed penetrating oil into here before I took the carburetor off. That might have helped. Ooh. You can't see through it. So now we'll just finish taking these screws off the top. There we are. A little bit of mysterious looking stuff in there, not too bad. Here's the float. The gasket doesn't look very good. It looks like it's been over tightened. I do have gasket material. I might be able to make one of those. I doubt whether I'll find anything like this because it's ancient. So now we'll get some pliers and we'll pull that pin out if we can. Oh, that's too large a plier. Here we go. Oh, look at that. That just came right out like that. Now this should lift right off. And there's our little plastic needle. I'm just going to grab a flashlight. And there's our seat. It's looking a little bit mysterious. I don't know if you can see in there or not. There it is. Okay, now here is the jet that we pulled out, and this is a 1/16 inch drill bit, and there is all kinds of crap in there. Whew. Carb cleaner. Well, that's definitely why it quit running. Now in my carb kit, cleaning kit, I have a small piece of wood with a very small wire. Now when I insert the drill bit down to this far, I can actually see it's getting to that point. So now my other issue is to get from the other side. I need something smaller. I'll try this. There. Well, that's through. Let's try the 1/16 inch drill bit. Nope. But now, at least, we have shoot through and out the side. Perfect. So I'm going to continue cleaning this carburetor, and I might have to invent a gasket or something. Okay, tubers, I know the furnace is running in the background, but I wanted to get on with this. So I'm going to try something. This is the gasket that came out of the carburetor, and it is absolutely no good. But when I look, this side is completely deformed, but when I look at this side, it looks like a mirror image of this side. And I have some gasket material. It's called K-Row Pack, and I just picked it up at a Canadian store in Canada called Canadian Tire. I don't endorse Canadian Tire stuff, but they sell a lot of good things. This is just gasket material, and it feels very, very, very similar. So I'm going to try and emulate this onto this piece of gasket material, and I'm going to mark it here and here, and I'm going to trace this side. Now I might be right out in left field here, but this is a 51-year-old machine. Now I'm going to turn this over, as you see, and this side is the good side. I'm going to use it as my template for the other side. Like that. You can see how deformed it is. The lines don't even line up on the other side. So if I remember to cut on the inside of the lines, I'll be alright. So that is going to be my new gasket. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill these holes here. I'm going to drill these holes, and then I will cut with a razor knife around the outside. So we'll see how close we get this. It's got to be pretty close. It's going inside a carburetor, for goodness sakes. But this is the challenge of working on old stuff. So that is what I'm going to make. And there is a tiny little hole right there. And I'll use my drill bits and all the different kinds of things I can to cut this out. So I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, tubers, this is where I'm at so far. I've got it cut out pretty good. I'm not too much worried about the outside dimensions. I used a hole punch to hole punch these two holes here. And now I'm going to use a 64th bit here and here, and then bigger bits for these other corners, and we'll see how we make out. So I'll bring you back when we're done. I just thought I'd better do this short little video. These holes might not be big enough, but maybe they will be. You never know. So, thanks for watching. Okay, here's my new gasket. Now it's dirty from my hands, but it looks pretty much like the old one. Now what I didn't realize is that it has shrunk from this direction to this direction, so that when I went to stick it on here, it's just a tiny bit narrow, but I think it still might seal. We'll be lucky if it does. Always make another one. They're very, very inexpensive to make this kind of stuff. So now I'm going to put this carburetor together and see if it works. Thanks for watching. Oh yes, and one more thing. On Donny Boy's 73 videos, I've seen him work on these really, really old carburetors before, and he has mentioned to roll up a piece of emery cloth and just to roll it on top of the seat. The gas comes in here and out into the float bowl like that. And he has just to roughen up the top of that seat inside there for the needle and seat. That's another trick. So let's see if our new gasket works. Over and out. Well, hello there, YouTubers. I've got the old 1961 Rototiller put back together again. I made that homemade gasket for the carburetor, so we'll see if that works. and I got everything bolted back. You saw me disassemble just about everything, so we'll just have a quick look and then I'm going to try and give it a start. So this is right here. This is the carburetor bowl that I, or the carburetor bowl gasket that I put on here, and I've got the gas lines hooked up, the old metal gas line. I washed the tank out, and this one is such an old engine that it has the old shorting out of the spark plug clip, and that's about it. So we'll put the camera down and see if we can make it go. I don't know what the throttle settings are, so I'm going to go halfway. A little choke. Half choke. Well, that was a good try. So now I'm going to play with it for a little while and see if I can improve that throttle response and all that other stuff. Talk to you later. Oh, hello Tubers, BTH V1 here. Well, we're pretty much finished the rebuild of this old 1961 Briggs & Stratton Rototiller. It needs a new muffler. It's just starting to corrode and get loose. And I'm going to have to weld up something. This is a tail off of another Rototiller. I've got that big 8-horse. I'm going to have to get a new tail to put on there. But other than that, I got everything running. The homemade gasket and the carburetor worked really well. And now I've tuned it up. I've got a new plug on it. I changed the oil. I added snowmobile grease to the worm gear auger housing. And adjusted everything up, idle, mixtures, high-low speed mixtures, all of that. So we'll just give her a little start up and see how it goes. Half throttle. So I'm real happy with it. Runs pretty good for 52 years old. BTH V1 over and out.